us on the programme. We now move on over to Europe, where Russian drone and missile attacks on Ukraine have killed at least 2 people as per reports. This comes as Ukraine ordered the evacuation of 11 more villages in its Sumy region bordering Russia. Russian troops launched an estimated 109 drones and 5 missiles across Ukraine on Friday and overnight, adding that 3 of the missiles and 42 drones were destroyed and another 30 drones failed to reach their targets without causing damage. The attacks came amid uncertainty over whether Kiev will take part in a new round of talks early next week in Istanbul. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said some 50,000 Russian troops have amassed in the area with the intention of launching an offensive to carve out a buffer zone inside Ukrainian territory. Meanwhile, Ukraine's top army chief has said that Russian forces were focusing on their main offensive efforts on the Pokrovsk, Torets and Lyman in the Donetsk region, as well as the Sumy border area. We stay in the region for our next story, where another bridge has collapsed overnight and derailed train in Russia's Kursk region. This comes after a similar incident killed at least 7 people in another region bordering Ukraine. The second bridge collapse happened along the Trostna-Kalinovska highway in the Kursk region. As per reports, a freight train had been travelling over the bridge at the time, and a part of the train had fallen onto the road below. The investigation into the bridge collapse in Bryansk has revealed that it was a result of an explosion. Blaming Ukraine, senior Russian senator has said that blowing up of bridge indicates that Ukraine has turned into a terrorist enclave. We move over to the Middle East once again, where Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran will not accept pressure over uranium enrichment. Speaking in a recorded statement, he said Iran has the legal right to enrich uranium and will not give that up because of foreign concerns. He called for demands to halt enrichment, a form of domination. This comes as the UN nuclear watchdog says Iran carried out undeclared nuclear activities at 3 different sites. The agency's reports also confirmed a sharp rise in Iran's stock of uranium enriched to 60%. That level is close to weapons graded. The report says Iran now holds enough material for multiple nuclear bombs, if enriched further. Western powers plan to table a resolution at the IAEA board meeting next week. Iran denounces the report as political and unbalanced. Let's take a listen in to Iran's foreign minister.
بله اگه حرف سلاح هسته‌ای باشه سلاح هسته‌ای از نظر خود ما هم مردوده و ما هم پرچمدار نفی سلاح‌های هسته‌ای بودیم و هستیم. این که اونها میگویند شما نباید غنیسازی داشته باشی در حقیقت یک جور تحمیل سلطه خودشون بر ما هست. چرا ما نباید غنیسازی داشته باشیم وقتی که همه این حق رو قوانین بین‌المللی حقوق بین‌الملل به ما میده؟ میگن شما نباید داشته باشی چون ما نگرانیم. چون اونها نگرانن ملت ایران نباید غنیسازی بکنه. و این اصلا از طرف ملت ایران پذیرفتنی نیست. چرا؟ چون پذیرش سلطه دیگری هست. اصلا فارغ از این که ما به غنیسازی نیاز داریم یا نداریم که داریم.
Meanwhile, Iran has warned of retaliation if European nations use a UN report to reimpose sanctions. Tehran has increased highly enriched uranium production. Iran's foreign minister has urged the UN nuclear chief to prevent political abuse of reports. Britain, France and Germany have expressed security concerns over Iran's program. This comes as Iran says it has received elements of a US proposal for a nuclear deal. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi confirmed the development in a post on X. He said Oman's Foreign Minister Badr al-Busadi visited Tehran on Saturday and shared details of the proposal. Araghchi added that Iran will respond in line with national interests and principles. The White House confirmed the proposal and urged Tehran to accept it. US Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stressed that President Trump remains firm. Iran must never obtain a nuclear bomb. US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff delivered what the White House calls a detailed and acceptable offer. This comes ahead of a sixth round of talks between the two countries. The date and venue are yet to be announced. We move on once again, where China has accused US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth of trying to sow division in the Asia-Pacific following his speech at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. Hegseth has warned China is credibly preparing to use military force to alter the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific, specifically pointing to a potential invasion of Taiwan. In a strong response, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs condemned Hegseth's remarks as filled with provocations, accusing him of promoting a Cold War mentality and falsely vilifying China. Beijing rejected claims that it seeks regional homogeny and insists blaming the United States for undermining peace and stability. China also issued a stern warning to the US, saying it should not play with fire over Taiwan. The Chinese Foreign Ministry reiterated that Taiwan is an internal matter and cautioned Washington against using the issue as a bargaining chip to contain China. China also accused the US of turning the Indo-Pacific into a powder keg by deploying weapons in disputed waters. Let's now turn to Europe, where polling stations open in Poland for a tight presidential election runoff. Opinion polls have predicted an extremely close race, with nationalist historian Karol Nawrocki and pro-EU Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski neck and neck ahead of the vote. The campaign has highlighted stark ideological divides between the two candidates. While Trzaskowski has promised to restore judicial independence, ease abortion restrictions and promote constructive ties with European partners, Nawrocki positions himself as a defender of traditional Polish values, sceptical of the European Union and aligned with US conservatives, including President Donald Trump. Meanwhile, some of the key issues of voting are security and Ukraine, rule of law and democracy, and women's rights. Let's now move